you're all ready to rock and roll this morning. Where are you headed?
Nowhere. I've got your coffee at 10, so.
All right.
I'll show up for my drive, right?
Yes.
And then I have a lady coming here actually at 11, so. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So how do you feel about doing Empower now?
Better. I would have to, if I'm running it solo, I'd need to bring in more of my own stories.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it was a good introduction, and George has already said to me, so in my package, do I get time with Susan? I went, no. You get the course with Susan. Oh. Well, I'd really like to have her on the team as well. I went, well, yeah, that's not in your package.
But it could be.
Could I pay extra? I went, oh, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I got some nice feedback from a couple of people online, and
yes, you did. That was good.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. I think people are starting to see the potential, and I think us continuing to grow and people just saying it's not me, it's us, and there's lots more that we do outside of boot camps and stuff that now people are starting to get benefits from. So yeah, because you have success stories.
What?
Somebody's phone's ringing, but I think it's Gemma's computer.
I thought you were hearing my husband blowing his nose, because that's what he was doing when you would stop talking. I'm like, I hear my husband blowing. Can you hear that? That's really cool.
Gemma's here right now. She's in between interviews, and all of her paperwork was back in Canada for stuff, so she came home for a week. So
jet setting. That's awesome.
Yeah, her resume says she's still in the UK, so I'm not socially sharing it because most of the work this time of year is in the Mediterranean. So she doesn't want to be found in Canada when they'll all say, oh, come down to the Caribbean and then sail back. She doesn't want to do that because she's a terrible sailor. You
know what? You should totally have her do an like how to make money on Instagram piece, like be like a bonus, like a not necessarily bonus, but have like a thing.
About 2 months ago, I interviewed her.
Yeah. Okay.
She's actually going to be on Virtual Coffee today with me. We're going to do live Q&A, and nobody knows it's going to be a bonus.
That's awesome.
So yeah. Anyway, we got half an hour or something.
Let's just talk about this for a little bit. So first of all, right? What's that?
So week 1 is 14, 21, 28.
Yeah.
Okay.
So last year when I ran those 3 modules, what about them did you like? What can you remember anything that stood out for you that you're like, I definitely want that again?
Specifically, what I liked was the actual test cases of what you did with the company, like the restaurant, and what you did to get people there, like the sunglasses guy, the yogurt company. They're the stories that I remember because there were actual campaigns with actual results and actual pictures that related to those.
Yeah.
What I really would love to be able to, because I have no skill in this, is like, how do you get picked up by the local radio station or the magazine or the TV as the expert? I mean, that's what people really want to know.
Yeah. So more of the how. So.
Yeah. And I remember you did some great advice to the birth besties, because they had that Vegas event coming up, and they said, oh, how do you do it? And you went, well, it's not really news right now until it's news. But that, I mean, you have that knowledge and wisdom. I don't have that.
It's hard to, sometimes it's hard for that information to be shared, especially with small business owners who are so passionate about what they do, right? Like they're sitting on the next best thing. And it's hard to deliver that, but it's also totally true. Like working in events with really big companies, it's not news until it's happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I always talk about the Chewbacca mom video, and, you know, out of pure innocence, you know, it went nuts. So, I mean, they happen every day, but once in a blue moon, you know, on the scale of the amount of people are trying to do it. The other piece too is press releases.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody, well, I have no idea how to draft a press release and how to send it out.
Yeah.
And if these newswire agencies still exist, and Yeah.
It is different. It's changing for sure. So what I was seeing doing, and I just wanted to float this by you. So I want to modify the 3 modules that I did before. So there'll be lots of that still in there. But what I was thinking was some of the kind of boring, dry stuff would be in a worksheet that they would take away.
Yeah.
And it's a focus more on results and things people can do. So the first module I was thinking would be getting your business PR ready, or is your business PR ready? And that's honestly the dry stuff, but I would make it less dry and give them a worksheet to take away where the end of the outcome of that 1 hour is for them to understand what they need to know about themselves and what they need to know they want to tell people about themselves for them to be PR ready. If they don't know what they're saying, they're not going to be able to say anything. And people often forget that part.
Yes.
So I see the first module is getting your business PR ready. The second one, I think there's a lot of legs, especially for the small business group, on showcasing their brand through their values.
Yeah.
So I can speak to that with Lean In. We can use, cleaning with the cause as other examples, but it is an almost easy way for a small business to align themselves with a bigger brand that also showcases who they are. And most people have something that they have a pet project about or something, even if they give like 10% of the proceeds of a workshop to something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I did that 4 years ago for Ellen. She was going back to school. She needed to raise like $3,300. She thought she could raise some money. She didn't ask, didn't really get anywhere. And she was home, and basically she couldn't leave without the money because she was in Canada. She had to go back to Australia to then go back on a missions trip. And my heart just went out to her because back then I didn't have the money to just give her the check. And second of all, that's not the plan. I mean, the plan is for them to expand their faith, to believe that they can do this. Mm-hmm. So we brainstormed one night, and I said to her, I did a 2-day workshop that was super successful. I have the curriculum. I could do a 1-day workshop, and why don't we do it by donation only? And we called it #DoItForEllen. And I made a video and suggested to people that, they came, got this 1-day workshop that we charged $2,000 for a 2-day workshop 6 months prior to. So Kat and I did it together. We already had the worksheets. I had several restaurants provide the snacks and the lunch. I had to pay for the cost of the venue, but the workbooks, the printer covered because I do so much work with them. So I almost got everything for nothing. And people made donations to show up, and people made donations even if they couldn't show up. We raised $800 before we even did it. And on the day we raised $3,500. Totally selfless giving of ourselves for a cause.
Yeah, and it shows that your business has heart.
Yeah.
So having a session around what they stand for, what they believe in, and really cultivating their brand, because PR is more than just what you're saying to people. It's what you stand for and who your business is.
Love that. Yeah.
So the takeaway from that, I would do a takeaway as a PR plan template.
So would that be things like supporting like the coldest night of the year, or Cops for Cancer, or that kind of thing as well? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
So that would be the module that would need the most work for me, probably, in terms of modifying what I did before. And then the third one I thought would be making your own news, and with a more focus on the success stories and showing results of news, but also more of a how-to guide. So the takeaway would be a media pitch sheet with a little bit of, okay, this is what you do. The reality is the news these days, there's a lot of other ways to make your own news. So it is completely tied with social media, because you have your own news channel in your social media feed. And then it will be also getting on other people's podcasts and identifying your own stage, basically, as well as some of the traditional news.
Yeah. I mean, Gemma got picked up by CNN, if you remember, on her
Instagram. Fun, right? It's interesting.
And that story came from her meeting Ben on board and sharing a wedding picture, that through the yachting industry, not only did they meet, but got married and had this textbook, fairy tale wedding. And somebody at CNN saw that picture of the wedding on her, whether it was on Instagram stories, promoted stories. I don't know if Gemma knows even. But she got interviewed by CNN, which got her like 3,000 followers in a week. Then she got picked up and got paid by a Brazilian magazine to do a 4-day spread. And then she got picked up by a Canadian magazine to do a spread.
So I got picked up recently. I don't think you shared it anywhere, but it will be a good one to share when we're promoting this one. I had a local news guy who now runs a podcast around entrepreneurs and has an entrepreneur.
Oh, I kind of saw that, but I didn't quite understand because there was a lot of blank spaces on the graphic, right?
Was there?
That one?
Well, I didn't create it. I just shared it from their online magazine. So there's a magazine in Calgary called Calgary Business, and I believe it was just in their online one. But what a gift that was! Like, he sent me the questions, I answered them, and then it got broadly circulated, and basically it was a giant CV of who I am and what I do. There's not many opportunities you have to just go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but that was, I didn't pay for that. They came to me.
Yes.
I could have pitched to them, but I didn't.
I remember you got pitched by a radio station you thought they were picking you up, but then they just wanted you to pay, right?
And there's a lot of that, and that's actually not a bad thing to include, because I've heard more than one person now, especially coaches, who go, "Oh, really? This radio station?"
They stroke your ego. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not really a news channel. They're paid media. So there's advantages to it as long as your people are on there.
Yes.
But it's not.
That's what they call advertorials.
It is advertorial. So I think bringing that in as well would be important.
Yeah.
So the module, I know I need to flush out more in terms of being able to give you exactly what's in it, would be the cultivating your brand. I can see it shifting a little bit as I get into writing them, but ultimately it will be is your business PR ready? Showcase your business value. Well, we got to come up with a sexy name, but cultivate your brand and showcase your business values through PR. Got to come up with something for that.
Okay.
And make your own news.
Yep. Great. So
Does that sound good?
So I'll create a sales page similar to the 120-day business page, that sort of format. Obviously, pictures of you and me, and then so we can set, because I'd like to try and get this page finished by the end of tomorrow.
Yeah, and Paige had asked me for some information too, so I'll dig up and see if I have anything new to share.
Yeah, so her and I were going to sit tomorrow morning and try and build this so that I could promote it early next week, which somebody gives them a week to buy it. But half a dozen people just say, "Oh, I'm in for that," because it's recorded. It's a direct follow-on for the boot camp, so I just need to be able to tell them today. So we need to set a price.
Yeah. Now I was wondering, is $9.99 too high? It should be $7.99, or what do you think? $4.99? Because I was just thinking in line with what you're already offering. Like, you don't want to make it seem like it's really lame. Because your other one is you're currently selling a 5-module program for $199. 10-module program for $299.
On the website is $19.97, and I've always sold it at $9.97 and had no trouble. I did a webinar for the boot camp, and I made it $14.97, and I didn't sell one. Never told anybody, but so many people were interested, but I didn't. And there was definitely people I'm in conversation with. The guy in Costa Rica and the girl Erin.
But $9.99 is what you've been able to sell it for.
$9.97 was the sweet spot, but that's 5 weeks. That's 10 sessions. This is 3 sessions.
10 sessions for, oh, wait now. So the
that's the 5 E's and 5 virtual coffees, right?
What's that?
So that's the 5 E's and then 5 virtual coffees.
Right. So I can obviously attend as part of this, the boot camps, the weeks.
Yeah. So the number in my head for the first time around as a spring special is a discounted price of $4.97.
Okay.
Because I know I'm paying you $500 per week per unit, right?
Yeah, that's what it is right now.
Yeah, I
was thinking once we started selling it.
Oh, I agree. Then you get 50% of this going forward. So I think let's make it a $9.97 retail, and because that's the same price they would have paid for the boot camp. So maybe we'll say to the people in the boot camp, they can get it for $4.97, and I'll create a coupon for them. And this is, but if I was to sell it to my list,
$9.97 seems high if they're getting boot camp, 5 sessions of boot camp.
yes, but that's a $19.97 program that by paying in full early bird, they got it for $9.97. So if I retail this at $9.97,
yeah,
and sell it to them at $4.97 as a trade up. Lindsay had an idea. She said if we had boot camp, public relationships, as I've been calling it, and power content, so public relationships, and so power content we sell at $19.97 discounted. Boot camp we're selling at $9.97 discounted. Because originally I said $19.97, $2,997, and $9.97, so it's $356. We were just wondering if somebody.
The key is to sell it as a bundle, right?
It absolutely is, yeah. Lindsay had an idea, is if they bought your course and her course, we gave them their boot camp free back as like a discount. I need to think about this. I have Lindsay coming here at 11 because we hired a financial consultant to analyze my profitability of the last 2 years, to make sure I'm going in the right directions and to see where I'm just not watching my costs enough and drilling down on everything. Because I tell you, I need $55,000 a month to cover off my costs right now.
That's crazy.
That is a shit big number.
$55,000 a month?
Yeah.
Jonathan.
I know. And that's my salary, Debbie's salary, cost of running the business, all of the wages, all of the software, all of the hard costs. That's a break-even number.
Well, but break even, but including you getting paid.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so that's what it costs. I mean, that's our break even with everything. And obviously, everything after that is pure profit, right? And we did over $1 million, so probably got about $400,000 of sales. It depends on the margin of what the sales are, but still a scary number.
That's pretty cool.
I have a $25,000 credit card and that I use for business, and I have to keep paying it off every week because I can't leave it longer than a week before it maxes out because there's just so much going on that card all the time.
Wow.
It's like adulting.
Like, well, the other thing I was thinking about, because you have more energy than I do, but like drives Rod a little bit crazy sometimes how much I'm happy to go. And I was thinking, like, you're all go. And you are the engine in your business.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark Schaefer, who the book I was talking about, he has an option on his website. You can book him for an hour and he charges $200, which to me is like way too cheap. But he seems very happy to get $200 an hour to just give his advice because he's not giving it for free.
No, that would be a paid discovery session. That would be something you normally like. You currently offer that for free.
Yeah. So I definitely want to bring in that because I'm getting a lot of these calls and it's just like, I help them out enormously and then they don't buy because I've learned not to help people out too much because I've almost given them a whole strategy on the call and hoping just because I see the best in everybody, they're going to buy from me. And
I've had people say that to me too. I'll get to the point where I'm just like, I just can't meet with you and let's be really clear on what this phone call or coffee date is about because I just don't have time.
I had a lady recently, a naturopathic doctor. I mean, I've seen all these people hire her now and she didn't give me no credit. And the whole strategy she's using in Sassy is what I gave her. And Yeah, she completely rebuilt her WordPress website based on my critique. And it's like, wow, you didn't even buy Bootcamp. You didn't even buy Bootcamp. And it's like, I probably gave you $5,000 worth of strategy, realistically. I'm quite pissed about that. So
okay, so you're thinking.
So here's where I was going with that. Is that could be a call with either you, me, or Lindsay.
Oh yeah, it could be.
They could pick. I'm more interested in my business story, or I'm more interested in my social media, or I'm more interested in my content. And could I get a consult around that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was thinking about giving an option of which of us to pick.
Yeah. Oh. As long as it's a paid thing.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely.
Yeah, I don't have time to fit anymore.
Yeah, no, it's a paid thing.
I was going to say about the one thing, just in terms of the payment around the PR course, there's something really important here, and it's not just about the sales of it. PR, I was thinking about this the other day. PR is the engine in your plan, right? Social media is the fun, cool stuff that you see. Content is king, right? Like it's really important to know what you're saying. Your PR strategy is the engine. And so it is core to the success of your program. It's one of the reasons why I was able to run with the material Lindsay and you taught me, because I knew where it fit. So it's a key piece. So it's almost like you want to throw in the PR one for free instead of Bootcamp. But
right. I was just thinking, that slide I had yesterday, and you said I was flirting with that woman. I'm glad I was married.
Well, you're always pictures of people all over.
Smith, but anyway, I make it look like I know her a lot better than.
Yeah.
Actually, she is so friendly to me, and she does know who I am, and she makes a big fuss when I walked in the room, like huge. It's very kind.
Well, it's like that girl, the Instagram lady. What's her name again? Sue, of course. Sue Zimmerman. Sue B.
Sue B. Of late, she has got some shit big gigs. She works for Schwarzkopf hair products. They flew her to LA. She's got another gig in London that she's flying business class and being paid to speak. I mean, her strategy of consistently showing up as the expert when she's actually not the expert, but she's made herself the expert, and now she has worked. I'm quite jealous. But do I have time to do that 8 times a day and do the DMs to everybody? Absolutely not.
You'll get there if that's what you want.
I don't know. Anyway, here's an idea. So if we said that content is king, so if what do we say? If content is king, but engagement is queen, how about PR as the ace up your sleeve?
I thought you were going to call me the PR queen.
Well, Mari Smith's already the queen.
Yeah.
And they're always saying that content is king. But if we were doing playing cards,
it is the ace up your sleeve. Because it means you're
the next playing card down is a jack, right? Which is like, jack of all trades. I don't want to be
jack.
No, you don't want to be jack. But you could do the ace.
I could be the ace.
But that could be kind of fun. We could have 3 playing cards with you, me, and Lindsay.
There you go.
But the crazy thing would be, though, is that Lindsay's the content person. And I'm the queen. That wouldn't work. No, that definitely wouldn't work. Any which way around it doesn't work. But I do like the phrase. If content is king, if content is king and engagement is queen and she rules her house, PR is the ace up your sleeve. Because quite often our PR is quite subtle, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, if you're watching, so for example, PR now, PR and marketing, it's all mixed in together. But for example, if you're watching a show and there's product placement, right? Like, so some of the first people to do it would have been like those awards, like the talent shows where they're all with their Cokes, right?
Oh, yeah, the Coke cups. They don't do that anymore, do they?
But that's kind of PR. Like, it's marketing, but it's product placement.
Yeah, I remember I worked for Formula One for a while, and we brought a car to a trade show, and everybody came to see the car. And the one thing that he had to do was he had to make sure the wheels were exactly true to the ground with the Pirelli logo right at the top. And he was measuring the spin of each wheel so that the Pirelli logo was perfect at the top. It's like, it's a tire. But that was the big deal. And you look at the placement of stickers on Formula One cars that these companies pay tens of millions to have a little like Marriott Bonvoy on a uniform or something. But
the reality is, I mean, the core of the PR, the core of the PR strategy is knowing what you stand for and what you want to be known for. But classic PR is still, there's a place for that. Like getting out there, like shaking hands with people, building relationships with people in real life is what PR is.
Yes, 100%. Pat Flynn, if you've heard of him, he's got a website called Smart Passive Income. He's probably one of the biggest names on the internet now for social media. And he lost his job as an architect working for P.F. Chang's, designing restaurants, didn't know what to do, started just documenting his journey about making money as an entrepreneur. And now his website, every month, he shows his income from every single stream. And he's Insta famous. He's now got his own conference and stuff. He's now got his own Flinstagram channel. He's using it so well. And he decided to hold a meetup for 100 people while he was speaking at an event and decided to charge $100 for this private gathering. It sold out in 20 minutes because people actually wanted to meet him because he was so lovely. And then another 200 people gate crashed the meetup because they wanted to get there too. And there's something about, when you pay it back to a lot of people, people just want to meet the person. And I get that in a little bit to myself. People want to meet me because they've heard a lot about me. And it's like, but there is some sort of stardom in humility by paying it forward.
For sure. And also consistently showing up.
Yeah.
So part of the challenge is people need to be patient. It's not a one-shot deal. Like these overnight successes are not overnight successes.
Yes.
Like you may have to be consistently posting, sending stuff to the media, pitching podcasts for a year before you get picked up. Like that's possible.
Yes.
And it's about building those relationships, getting to know that reporter who might profile you. Like there's a reason why PR companies with specialists in media do well, because they have relationships with those reporters. So what I do with my small business clients now, and I have to admit, it's taking a while for it to really take off, but they need to build a relationship with the news people, not me, right? Like, so giving them the tools to build those relationships.
Yeah.
They need to be one shaking hands. They need to be one going to the events and rubbing shoulders. So particularly your friend Paul with Gifted, like there's a lot of classic PR that can work for them.
He can do that. Kim can't. She's older, more wizened, old school, there's no personality about her, in brutal honesty, that's very attractive. But Paul is your perfect movie star, smile, Mormon, multimillionaire family guy.
Looks good in blue.
I mean, he's like a mini Kennedy in a way.
Yeah. So and that's why I would say one of the reasons why I'm so busy with my work right now is because I'm out there. Like I did a little test in my own business a couple of years ago because I was busy inside my house writing things and being afraid to put myself out there in this new coaching business. And as soon as I made a point of going, I started doing one networking thing a week. And I did that for 1 month. That's all, 1 month. And I was so stinking busy, I couldn't keep up. So then I went back to like one every 2 weeks. And now I'm just make sure I get out once a month in public. But like just being out there, like there's no replacement for having your face in a room with your ideal clients.
You're right. And I've stopped doing that 100%. But I did it for 9 years. Every stinking month, I hosted my own meetup because I didn't like the way networking events were working.
But you haven't stopped doing it. You're on the stage. Like that counts.
Oh, okay. But I was going to say, I don't go to the Abbotsford Chamber of Commerce. I don't go to any of the local
You don't
things
need
at
to.
all.
You'd be sought after. You would go if they invited you to speak and paid you at this
Of
point.
course I would. Yeah.
Right? But you don't need to go to them because you're well enough. Your business is.
But I network a lot at the SASSY events, like huge.
But how do you get that name, right? You start there.
You got it. Love that. This is so good. Getting out there and getting seen with your ideal clients. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. So actually, yeah, I could send a couple of pictures around that, like networking. Like there was all those pictures taken at the Lean In conference by professional photographers of just networking.
That picture of you with Sheryl Sandberg, and I hadn't seen that one in her yard.
And it was, unfortunately, as she used to do pictures with everyone individually, but I think the reason she didn't at this one mainly had to do with the light. It was in August and it was getting dark, and to get everyone's pictures in before it went dark, they did group.
A group's fine, because that was only, what, 10 people or 12 people?
It was like 8 or 10. Yeah, it was my little group that I spent the weekend with.
That's more than enough. I'd love to create a graphic, is like we show that picture and on page get this great big star coming down and an arrow. It's like, this is me. This is the COO of Facebook. Yeah. Just for some fun, but yeah. I know you play that down, but I was watching people's eyes. I mean, that is freaking huge. It is. I mean, that's like
in the room with Sheryl Sandberg. Yeah, it looks
one step
okay,
removed from Mark Zuckerberg.
Hey, there's another picture I have for you that I'm probably, I don't know if I have a glass of wine in my hand. There was a free wine at this event. And this is the end of the night, and I had my liquid courage up to speak to this woman. And so there's a picture of me with her. She runs Hearst magazines. She used to be the editor of Cosmo. And she's British. I'll have to look her up. Like, she's like, I couldn't believe that I was able to speak with her. And then there was this other woman. I've got a picture of her too. I'll just show you. So one of my clients had said, Susan, you really need to read this book. That's What She Said by Joanne Lippman. I said, oh, that's cool. And I go off to the Sheryl Sandberg conference. And Joanne Lippman was the first speaker, which I had completely forgotten about this book. I didn't own this book. This was a gift from Sheryl to all the participants. And then afterwards, I went up to meet Joanne. And I was like, oh, I really enjoyed your book. And someone said, hey, let me take a picture of you. So I stood there, got a picture of myself with the author, posted it on Instagram. My client saw it, and she's like, what the heck? I just told you about that book last week. You didn't even know about it. I'm like, well, met the author. And here's one more. Can you see that?
Gosh, you're young in that.
I am. So Rod and I, it was before we were married, and he was doing contract work for the space agency. This is Julie Payette. She is a female astronaut who's currently Governor General of Canada.
Yeah.
It's before she went up in space. So she was there schmoozing, and I was like, I want to meet this woman.
Selfies and the new autographs today, right? That's awesome.
Look how look I am. I can't even believe it.
Wow.
I'm 20. I'm in my 20s, my late 20s.
Gosh, you look
very young.
The daughter who has the bedroom on the right, is that Rachel?
Kate or Amanda?
Oh, sorry.
The one on the same side of you was Kate, and then Amanda's on the other side with red hair.
Yeah. So that's Amanda right there.
It is, except she's got red hair. Yeah, I see pictures of her and go, holy smokes.
Yeah, yeah.
So I want to get this woman to come speak at a Lean In event in Calgary and hold this picture. Get her to sign it for me, for crying out loud.
Okay. But, you know, the thing is, more people now want a selfie with somebody than an autograph, right?
Yeah.
And I find that whenever I go to events now, I say to people, I want to take a selfie because I know one day we're going to do business together, and I want to be able to show a picture of when we first met or do a podcast, and people are like, oh, sure. So everybody, and it's my way of getting a shitload of mugshots. And sure enough, I'll do a joint venture or have somebody I'm on their podcast, and I hate these templated letters and say, oh, my good friend, blah, 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 is holding a meeting and I recommend you go. And it's like, whatever, it's a template. But if you can put a picture of you and the person and say, Jennifer Dunham, my dear friend, who I've hung out with, fed her chickens and had coffee, is doing this event, you should go. It's night and day. right? And all those pictures, like you and me, and I just wish we'd have a picture of us in nice weather in Calgary.
Yeah, except me, my hat.
But then we got some great pictures when we were in LA with Lisa, right? So.
Yeah, there are some good ones there. I really like the one with your wife and Lindsay.
Yeah, my very loud shirt.
That was fun.
Yeah, no, that was a picture I was actually going to want to use on this because, and the other picture of you and Lindsay sitting here on this desk is, and then I was going through all the pictures I took of you at your place, which I haven't really used, but there's amazing pictures like your wedding story and how you drew it up and how you got back in touch with that graphic designer and pictures of you at your table with your coffee and your computer and how you do work. I mean, they're all total Susanisms. Even those videos we made that I don't know if you ever used about cutting.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. But what you did for me, Jonathan, honestly, that was a year ago, right? I didn't even have an Instagram business account then. So I'm at about 500 followers now, which I don't think is bad for a year of organic reach.
It's all about quality now.
But anyway, I mean, what you do that sets you apart, and I'll say it again, is you inspire people to action. And that is the difference. You make people feel they can do it. You build confidence. You're writing it all down.
That's what Kim said the other day. She said, I never thought we could do this. Even when we wrote the book, I didn't think we could do it until I met you. And now I truly believe I can be a best-selling author. I have a brand. I've never had a brand in my life. I have a picture of Paul the other day. We had business cards made for him. And we had them made in Zoom. Not Zoom. Moo cards. What the heck's happened to my computer here? And am I sharing?
No, not yet.
Okay, one sec. And I took a screenshot of him when it comes up. With his new business card, you see?
That's awesome.
Because he was so, because we made them with Moo cards. That's just a screen grab from Zoom, but that's square, and he was just like so happy that, you know, he said, because we spent a lot of money on these Moo cards. They were 18-point, they were silk laminated, square, so they had like triple layer printing in a beautiful square little box. So he's opening his Moo cards box and giving people the cards and like, oh, I love this card. And he said, I actually felt like this is a card of a New York Times best-selling author.
Right? It's about having people believe in themselves.
Yeah.
So you exactly what it was. You added another layer of that for me. So thank you.
Yay! Okay, I got it. Paige will be here in a minute. I'm going to get us set up, starting the framework on this.
Awesome.
I always work well on a deadline, so if we can knock this page out. I need to think on pricing. I'll circle back to you on pricing.
I trust you. The one thing I just want to make sure we know is that I don't want it to undervalue the PR piece. I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, I don't really need that.
No, it's integral. Because what we sold Lindsay for $5,000 was bootcamp power content, this new course, and Inner Circle for a year. So that's what she got. So that's an $8,000 value retail right now.
That's amazing.
So, and she got it for $5,000, right?
Yeah.
And she was very happy. She got a lot of value for $5,000. So I'm almost wondering if that's the bundle price.
Mm-hmm.
Is all 4 courses. But if it,
well, because having a weekly, is it a monthly call with you? And it includes boot camp. That's a lot of touches. That's great.
Yeah. So there's a monthly content planning lab that we did last week for the first time, where we created a fillable calendar in for the whole month with all the international days and hashtags. So you got a whole strategy on a page. And then we just spent an hour just going through each date with the people in the group and just brainstorming what they could do. So one host lady for May 4th for Star Wars, she said she's going to get her kids with pool noodles, labor sword fighting on horseback.
Perfect.
You know, there was a lot of great ideas that people came out with. Somebody else wants to do non-alcoholic margaritas for May 5th as a recipe and stuff like that. So, okay. Let me play with some numbers. I'll circle back, but I'll go and sit with Paige now, and we'll get this going.
All right, and I can send, if it's helpful, like, to some words that I've worked on. I've got a page here with some key takeaways from each of the courses.
That'd be awesome.
I'm happy to have you guys play with the titles, but I'll throw out the titles that I'm at so far.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is part of the VIP Platinum pieces that they get this course. We might single out some the gifted people and stuff. Like the host dressage lady, I told her about the dates yesterday. Karen Rolfe, I don't know if you've come across her yet. She told me that she sold 3,000 copies of her book in America, and way more copies of that in German and Polish. And it's like, you don't even say you're a best-selling author. Well, I'm technically not, because I'm self-published. I went, most people have never sold 3,000. It's a $70 book. It's like a real book with real DVDs, and I was like, why are you not making a deal out of this? She said, look, you so need to listen to Susan in this PR thing, because you are so humble. So yeah, fantastic.
What did I think of in terms of I know you're calling it public relationships. What did I call it? Oh, building public relationships. Use traditional PR strategies to grow your business in today's market.
That's fine. Yeah, yeah. We need a catchy title. Like, we got Power Content Bootcamp. I was just going to call it Public Relationships. It's just 2 words on the drop down, but then we'll have the full tagline. With a big P and a big P and a big R. So
yeah.
See the public relationship piece. Because like with Power Content, we did like the blue word for power, and then there are content in the script. Okay, I'll let Paige play with it, because that's the kind of thing she loves to do. So
awesome.
Okay. I have another call at 9 I've got to prep for. So
bye.
You're amazing. You're a blessing in my life.
Have a good day.
Bye for now.